What's up, Brew Crew? Welcome back to Beer City Board Games. Today, I'm going to take a step back and do something that I was doing fairly regularly for a while, and that's taking a look at the newly added games that have just recently been added to Board Game Geek. This is something that I was doing fairly regularly. Had to step away from it for a little bit, but these are videos that I really enjoy making because I like seeing what new games are going to be coming up and figuring out which ones I'm excited to get my hands on, check out, and play. So today we're going to jump right in. First off, I've got a game called Don't Fall For It. Now this one is from Phil Walker Harding, and it looks like this is a trivia-style party game, but there is what looks to be a cube tower involved. Now I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work, but I love a cube tower. Party games are fairly hit or miss for me, but I'm very interested to see I do like trivia, and so I'm curious to see how the trivia and the cube tower are going to kind of work together. Phil Walker Harding obviously puts out some very good games that are generally very streamlined, very easy to get to the table. So definitely looking forward to checking out Don't Fall For It. Next up is Pillars of Fate. Now this one looks like it is either a sequel or a spiritual successor to Veiled Fate, which is a game that I haven't had a chance to play yet. It looks like Pillars of Fate is a two-player card battler, hand management type of game with some elements of area majority, maybe. It's set in the same world as Veiled Fate. Again, Veiled Fate is a game that I think looks very cool, and I'm kind of interested to see what the differences are between Veiled Fate and Pillars of Fate. Then we've got Beast Slayers. Now this one is a dice rolling adventure game about hunting monsters. It looks like you're going to be taking on certain characters or classes of characters and possibly leveling up or gaining loot as you hunt down these monsters. It also looks like there are different cards for different locations, and so I'm assuming that's going to mean that you will need to prepare for different encounters or creatures depending on where you are within the world, which is a really cool concept. And the card art that I've seen so far all looks really cool also. It looks epic in nature, and I'm really excited to check out Beast Slayers. Next up, I've got a much smaller looking game. This is Fish and Ships, Aegean. Now that's Fish and Ships, SHIPS. It looks like this is a fairly quick playing game. I think the time on this one was 10 to 30 minutes listed on Board Game Geek, so fairly quick to play. And it looks like, I'm assuming it's a card-based game. There's not a lot of information out there yet about this one, or any of these really. But the theme of this one is trying to balance fishing with protecting the environment, which I think is a very cool theme. You're trying to catch the most valuable fish while also trying to preserve the environment. I wish I knew a little bit more about the actual mechanisms, but the theme at least has me interested. And then I've got Schooled, which is another fish-themed game. This one is a head-to-head two-player battle, and it looks like it's like a card battler where your different units are fish, which is kind of neat. I haven't seen that done before. It looks like you're basically trying to survive your opponent's attacks, but there's also a push your luck element to it. It sounds like you are trying to go deeper and deeper into the ocean, I'm assuming. And I'm not really sure what happens when you get down there or why you would bust, but I do tend to like push your luck in games. Adds a very tense, exciting feel to games. So very curious to check out Schooled. Next up, I've got a solo only game, which generally I'm not super interested in, but this one called Dungeon Post is a solo only dice placement game. And dice placement is a game mechanism that I really enjoy. It looks like this one has you trying to make your way through a dungeon to deliver the mail. And then you're going to be using the different dice to try to complete different challenges that are going to come up along the way. Looks like it's very quick to play, very quick to set up, which for me is kind of a must when it comes to solo games. I am not very likely to take the time to set up and play a very large solo game, but if it's very small, very quick to get to the table, and very quick to play, I'm very likely to give it a shot. So Dungeon Post looks very interesting. Can't wait to check that one out. And then we've got Ruinborn. Full title is called Ruinborn Dungeons of Cabora? I'm a little unsure. I know very little about this one. I know that it's a fantasy-themed game with dice rolling and hand management, but most of the other details that I've seen so far are in Polish, so I'm not 100% sure what the overall theme is. But the cover art alone is enough to have me interested. It looks very epic, very dark, which I like. Then there's We Folk. Now this is another small two-player card game with drafting, set collection, and grid movement. It has some incredible art from Sarah Geisler. I'm assuming, I think this is her first board game illustration at least. Now, I did look her up online and saw some of her other artwork, and it's all incredible. Definitely recommend going to check it out. And this one is also designed by Scott Brady, the creator of Boop, and published by Play to Z, which is the board game publishing supergroup founded by Zev Schlesinger, formerly of Z-Man Games and WizKids. But when you put all of those things together, this one just sounds like it's going to be a very good game. Up next is Moonshine. Now, this is a dice-based engine building game. I love the theme of running a speakeasy during Prohibition. I think that's a fantastic theme. It also looks like you could potentially have an asymmetric start, depending on which speakeasy you're choosing to run, which will give you different benefits or abilities. I am a little bit worried about this one listing real time as a mechanism, but the game looks cool. I love the idea of dice-based engine building, and so I'm hoping that's enough to kind of overcome any dislike I might have for real time. Then there's 14ers. Now this is a game about climbing mountains in Colorado. Looks like you're going to be using open drafting with multi-use cards. It's also got you building a tableau of cards that are going to help you climb those mountains. The artwork is from Hinterlands Outdoors, which I guess is a Colorado-based company that makes some really cool outdoor artwork, apparel, stickers, things like that. 14ers is a reference to the mountains in Colorado that are 14,000 feet or higher. Cool theme, very cool artwork. Interested to check out 14ers. Then there's Sunset. Now, we love trick-taking games, and this looks like a very interesting one. It's a must-follow trick-taking game where you follow the suit that's led. But with the twist in this one is that you have half of your hand face up on the table in front of you in 3 rows. And if the suit that's led is one of the top cards in those 3 columns, then that card must be played before you can play anything out of your hand. That's a very interesting concept, very cool twist. I'm very curious to see how it plays out once you actually get it to the table. Sometimes overcomplicating trick-taking games ends up making me not like them quite as much, but this one, that doesn't sound like an over-the-top change, and I'm very curious to see how that ends up playing out as you're playing a trick-taking game. And the last one that I've got for you today is Temple ParaDice. This is a dice worker placement game with some elements of push your luck, so you know it's not going to end well for me. But it's also mixed with roll and write. There's some really great looking artwork. The cover, I think, looks fantastic. And it sounds like you're kind of trying to gather the most treasure before the temple collapses. That's a fun theme, a fun looking game. Can't wait to try it out. All right, everyone, those are the newest games on Board Game Geek that I am excited to check out. In the comments down below, let me know if any of these games look interesting to you, or if I've missed one that you are especially excited about. And while you're here, make sure to drop a like and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And until next time, let's get another round for the table.